Hey everyone, we finally reached 500 subscribers, and in honor of this beautiful occasion I figured out to maybe share some personal stuff with you guys that I never thought I would be sharing here on YouTube, to be honest. I'm gonna share with you my personal story with hair loss and the impact androgenetic alopecia had on my psychology ever since I was diagnosed with it 5 years ago. I also want to thank you guys for helping me reach this enormous number, 500. I never thought I would be able to reach such number, honestly. I hope that at least the majority of you get some value out of my videos. I try to put as much time and as much effort I can, especially in the research part of making my videos. I think that's the most important part. So I hope at least that you get some value out of it. If this is your first time here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to help us reach our next goal, which is 1,000 subscribers. So my story with hair loss started off maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I was one day with a couple of family members in a house, and as I was tilting my head down to look at something on the floor, one family member picked it up. She noticed this balding spot in my vertex. And 5, 6 years ago, I was maybe 19 years old, and she was in shock because you're not supposed to see balding head at 19 years old. So she rushed to my mom and she said, "You gotta get your son to a dermatologist or something. There's something wrong with his head." And it was so strange at the time to see someone that is 19 years old and he's balding, that she actually thought I was suffering from a medical condition, a pathological medical condition, not like androgenetic alopecia, not male pattern baldness, certainly. Me and my mom, we went to a dermatologist, and he checked my hair up and he said, "You have male pattern baldness, androgenetic alopecia." And I was so young at the time, I was 19, maybe even 18, that I didn't believe it, or I didn't want to believe it. I didn't think men lose their hair until they're at least 40 years old. I mean, I was 19 at the time and I didn't think it was possible. Especially to me, growing up, I had the most beautiful hair, the thickest hair, the darkest hair, and as I'm saying this, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to what I'm saying. But whenever I used to go to my barber, he would spend literally 5 minutes of his time complimenting my hair and how I'm his favorite client just because of how my hair feels and stuff like that. I will make sure to put some photos so that you can see. But when my dermatologist gave me this diagnosis of androgenetic alopecia, one part of me knew that it was a progressive disease. Even my doctor back then explained it to me. And I knew that it was progressive. It's going to progress and it's going to continue falling and getting worse as the time goes on. But I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that my hair will go away. Didn't want to believe it. I was convinced that it's not going to happen to me for some reason, but it sure did. Now, as I'm in medical school, some of you guys may know I am a 5th-year medical student. I will be a medical doctor in 1 year, hopefully. But I found myself funny because if I did some research, the minuscule amount of research back then, I would have known how things are going to proceed from there on. But as expected, my hair continued to fall. In the beginning, it was like a tiny spot in the vertex in 2016, maybe 17, but it then spread away. And now I would confidently say that I have diffuse thinning all over my vertex. I would classify myself as Norwood 5, maybe even 6, unfortunately. And it's going to proceed. Of course, now I'm taking 5 alpha reductase inhibitors and minoxidil. I've actually been using minoxidil for over 5 years since the time I was diagnosed with it. But as you may know, minoxidil works for a certain amount of time and then it wears off because your DHT gets, or your hair follicles get so much hypersensitive to DHT as you grow older and older. And if you're susceptible to androgenetic alopecia, that minoxidil couldn't do anything anymore. You have some sort of DHT blocking agent. And I hopped on finasteride, I think about 3 years ago. I was 23, I'm now 26, and it did something. In the first couple of years, I remember the maybe 1.5 years when I started finasteride, I noticed my hair thickening up, but it wasn't as near as it was in the beginning when I was a teenager. And to put you into perspective, my hair is now, as I said, I classify myself as a Norwood 6. I have diffuse thinning. I mean, this is my hairline, it's okay, it's maintained, but I have diffuse thinning. I'm not quite happy with the status of my hair at the current time. I'm certainly thinking about doing a hair transplant, but not now, not in 1 or 2 years, maybe sometime in the future when I get to my 30s. I had some experiences shaving my hair off, and I don't find that quite uncomfortable, to be honest. I mean, I like the look, but I sort of want to feel in control of my own situation or my hair. If I want to cut my hair off, I want to do it by choice. I don't want to do it because I'm balding. So I'm certainly planning to stay on finasteride, dutasteride. I'm not that impulsive, or I'm not that annoyed by hair loss that I'm willing to do some in research compounds. Like a lot of you guys are telling me how you have some experiences with pyrilutamide or RU5401 and some other compounds, and I don't think it's a good idea. Honestly, I don't. Even though we have some safety data, especially about pyrilutamide, I don't quite understand the people who are using RU, but we have some safety data about pyrilutamide, but I still don't think it's a good idea to. It wouldn't make sense for me, at least, because I'm not that annoyed by hair loss that I will be willing to experiment with my own health. But I'm planning to stay on 5-alpha reductase inhibitors. I'm currently on finasteride, as I said, minoxidil, topical minoxidil, and as soon as pyrilutamide gets FDA approved, I will probably get that one as well. And yeah, I'm quite optimistic about androgenetic alopecia. I mean, I don't have the thickest and the best donor area, so I'm not ready to do a hair transplant now, even if I had the money, or if I was maybe a little bit older, just because I don't think I would make the case for the best hair loss candidate or the best hair transplant patient candidate, just because of how the balding area is so large and the donor area would not be sufficient to cover all that area. So I'm not pretty confident, at least maybe if I go to a top-notch hair transplant doctor like Dr. Juan Curo or Dr. Jose Lorenzo in Spain. I made a whole video about those doctors. You can go watch it if you're interested. But to be honest with you guys, I am satisfied by how my hair looks and how my look is. I may even go try the bald look in a couple of months again. I did it once and I'm willing to do it again. But I'm thinking about doing a hair transplant in the future. I'm liking this journey. I do like the community that we have on the internet. The Trestless subreddit, I mentioned that one a couple of times. On YouTube, we have quite a substantial amount of YouTubers that provide different approaches to this problem, like Hair Cafe, Kevin Mann. I mean, I love the guy, his enthusiasm, and he's a charismatic guy. So that's maybe my favorite hair loss YouTuber, maybe even my favorite YouTuber on the platform. Shout out to Kevin Mann if he's watching the video. I don't think he will, unfortunately. Also, Bald Cafe, another YouTube channel that has a different approach to this androgenetic alopecia problem, where he would help men try to cope with hair loss and try to have a different approach of accepting hair loss. And I do like his content, and I think he's doing great favor for the hair loss community. Hairliciously, My Dominance. There's this American doctor who has alopecia areata also. Dr. Gary Linkoff, yeah, that's his name. a lot of hair loss YouTubers, and I do appreciate the amount of content creators and the good community. We have a supportive community for androgenetic alopecia. So I'm proud to be a part of it. And I knew a lot of people that we became friends just because of this issue. So I'm not complaining. Be aware that androgenetic alopecia is right. It's a medical condition. It impacts us men, especially us younger men when we have it at a younger age. It impacts us psychologically immensely. I do understand that. I can relate to that. But throughout my years of medical school, I've seen genetic conditions that are far worse. I mean, androgenetic alopecia is a medical condition, but it's physiological. As much as you may hate it, but it's normal. It's a part of the human evolution. Although arguably we wouldn't find any reason for the evolution or Mother Nature to create this hypersensitivity to ADHD by the hair follicles. If you think about it, hair would protect us and would protect our head from the sun radiation, but who the hell knows why that happened. But there are far worse medical conditions. Like I was maybe a month ago in pulmonary department of one hospital here in St. Petersburg, and I've seen a guy, a little kid. He was about 12 years old and he had cystic fibrosis. Some of you may know the condition, but it's one of the worst medical conditions you could have as a kid, and a lot of other genetic conditions. As much as I hate the transformation my head or my hair had throughout the years, and it will continue to progress to the worse, but I feel grateful for God for giving me this healthy body and this healthy mind and brain to think and to appreciate life as much as possible. Some of you may say that I'm trying to cope with my hair loss. Maybe that's possible, but I try to look at it from another perspective. When it comes to the psychological impact, I promised you to talk about that one. I will confidently say that hair loss changed my personality, maybe not 180 degrees, but certainly in the 90 degrees angle. It changed my life immensely. I wasn't that extroverted growing up. I was always that, maybe not that shy kid, but I wasn't sociable. I didn't find myself comfortable around a lot of people. But certainly since I was diagnosed with AGA, androgenetic alopecia, and it was progressing, and especially the bald spot in the back of my head kept getting bigger, I found it harder and harder every year to socialize and to be around people and to enjoy stuff, maybe going out to party in the weekend like I used to enjoy when I was younger. A part of that may be attributed to the simple fact that I'm getting older and I'm interested in different things, but a second part of that is 100% may be attributed to androgenetic alopecia, and I feel like I need to work on that aspect of my life a little bit more. I just wanted to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate the 500 subscriber and the support messages I've been getting on Instagram and in the comment section. And I'm just this guy from this little North African country, Tunisia, that moved to Russia, St. Petersburg, Russia, to study medicine. And I tried to put as much research and as much value as I can in my videos. So I truly hope and wish you find it informative. If you want to know anything else about me, I can respond in the comment section. Please ask me anything you want to know. Where is this YouTube channel heading? Where is it going? I do want to make other videos other than about hair loss, but certainly in your interest circle. I'm planning to do a video about weight loss. I lost about 25 pounds in the duration of the past 3 months or maybe 2 months. So I am certainly doing a video about that, how I lost 25 pounds. Also some other videos, maybe about psychology, psychiatry, medical subjects. You just write in the comment section and I will surely make a video about that topic. Like the video, subscribe. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, so I get monetized. Finally, that's my primary goal, is to get monetized. This sick bastard I am. But yeah, jokes aside, please like the video and put in the comments which topics you want me to talk about. With that being said, stay safe.